Namaste yogis, Darcy here, and today we are going to break down everybody's favorite pose, Chaturanga Dandasana. This is a very strong, powerful pose that we don't need just upper body strength for, but we need equally our tummy strength for. So I'm going to show you all the different ways you can play with this pose with a blanket, bolster, and blocks. Okay, so we'll do full and modified. And pick something that resonates with you and then use that and any tools that can help you gain that strength for your posture. So we're going to start. I personally, when I am doing any type of modified poses or anything on my knees, when I practice, I have my blanket. It does not have to be a yoga blanket. It can be any blanket, or it can be a nice pillow. So I'm going to use that as my cushion. Our patella, the kneecap, it's bony, and so it doesn't really feel nice on the mat. So make sure you give that area love. And then we want to align ourselves. So when we're doing a modified chaturanga, we do not want our thighs to be vertical. We want them to be diagonal to get the same effect as we would in our full pose. So we're going to align our wrists beneath our shoulders. We're going to fan out our hands and utilize the entire palm. Okay, we want to get the fingertips, the back of the knuckles, the heel of the palm, which is right here, and we want to really have starfish grip. Preferably, we want to have our middle fingers parallel to each other. When we don't have this, this is what I see a lot. We're here, or people are here, and I've even seen the extreme here. Okay, you can see how your wrists would hurt if they are not aligned evenly. So it's either going to be pointer for you or middle finger that are parallel to one another. That makes sense. That's going to give you maximum use of your hand, and it's going to support your wrist, okay? One of the most common complaints we hear in yoga, especially when you're starting out a practice, is my wrists hurt. Well, we're not used to doing all this work on our wrists, so in time, all of these tendons and muscles are going to strengthen, but you have to keep coming back. Now, there are also people that suffer with carpal tunnel. There's lots of modifications that I'll show you. But again, the more you do it, the more you will strengthen. And there's other little tips and tricks like ice baths, where you put elbow down into an ice water bath. And this loosens all those tendons in your carpal tunnel wrist that bother you. So that's a little trick and a tip that is really helpful. And I've had students tell me how helpful it is. It gives you more mobility. Okay? So now that we've got our hands placed right, we're going to take our knees. Right now, I've got hips over knees. I need to slide my knees back and create a diagonal line. I'm going to bring my arms forward just a little. Okay. Now, my belly, you can't really tell in this shirt, my belly is going to be drawn to my backbone. Now that doesn't mean that I'm rounding my back. Okay, so when I make the cue belly to backbone, that doesn't mean this. Stay neutral and long. Okay, I'm a puppet right now. Puppet master. I've got a string on the crown of my head. I have strings on my shoulder blades and on my SI joint. Here. I also have a string on my sternum. So I'm going to take, Puppet Master's taking the string on the crown of my head, and they are pulling me forward. Notice what my belly is doing. It's not dipping down. I'm contracting my tummy muscles to keep my belly from doing this. I don't want that curve in my back. Okay? So notice my belly will stay up towards my backbone the whole way. Now, Someone is actively holding my SI joint strings right here. They're not going to let this lower. Now I need to lower my heart, my sternum, and I need to focus on where my elbows go. They need to shine to the back. I'm going to lower down. I'm going to keep lowering, but I'm not letting my belly go until my shoulders, elbows, and hips are aligned. And then I can move into opening my heart, spreading my collarbone. Okay? Now, one of the most common things people do is they let the heads of their shoulders go too far down. So, they're doing real good, they're on their way, they're going down, and then they do this. We don't ever want this for our shoulder girdle and for our rotator cuff. They should always be pointing forward. Okay? So a trick I like to use are yoga blocks. This is going to prevent me, it will not allow me to go too low. Okay? Now it doesn't mean I have to go this low, but it won't let me go too low. Most studios will have blocks, okay? And you can find things around your house that are similar height to use as well. So when you're doing this, you align your fingers behind the block. Again, pull up the belly so it's into your backbone. Okay, I'm not going to let it dip down. I'm going to lengthen, not doing this. I'm going to lengthen through the string on the crown of my head. Then someone's going to take the string on my sternum and invite me down. But I'm keeping my belly pulled up. I'm not letting it give in. And then I'm going to lower and rest. And then I might have to shimmy my knees back a little to get that line. One common mistake is people let their head go. They do this. Don't do that. Keep the crown of your head shining forward. Keep your whole spine in line with each other. You want to feel your elbows tucked into your sides. And then from here, you can tuck your toes, feet hip width, balls of the feet, not tippy toes, and lift your knees. And now you're in the full expression of Chaturanga Dandasana. And then lower the knees. And come into child's pose. And take a few breaths. Just because that's modified, it's still very challenging. You can tell by the way I'm talking. As soon as I lift my knees, I'm engaging my quadriceps and squeezing them. And then I am squeezing my belly. So it's a lot of core work too. Another thing you can do is a bolster. This works for most people. You gather on. Same concept. I've got belly to backbone. Leaning. Keep going as far as I can without letting my belly dip. And then I'm going to lower down. And there I am. You can't really tell in this shirt, but my arm is at a 90-degree angle. There's my elbow. See how it's lined up with my shoulder? My gaze is down. Now for me, I would need to kind of scoot forward so my chin is over. And I can also tuck my toes here and lift, but it's not core work anymore, just squeezing the quadriceps. But this is the full expression. Slight curve, booty, okay, but we don't have extra extension or flexion. Okay, we want to keep the spine long and just allow your natural curves to shine through. Okay, so let's do a modified and a full, and then that will be our Chaturanga date. So, you see the feet. This is a hard pose. It's not easy, and even if you're on your knees, you're going to get great work in your core and your triceps. So know that Yoga is a very slow progression. You don't need to rush anything. You don't need to get anything just like that. Just take your time. Really focus on your breath and your anatomical alignment. Belly to backbone. I need this back a little. There we go. As I'm at the top, I'm inhaling, filling up my lungs. And as I lower down, I'm exhaling and I'm emptying my lungs. I pause right here. Remember, the heads of my shoulders can't point down. Lift up, roll back. Tuck my toes. Balls of the feet, spread those toes. Use your tummy muscles to lift up, ooh, and back, and then come down. Inhale to plank. I'm a straight line from the crown of my head to my heels. I'm not sinking. I'm not rounding. This is called the down dog plank. I'm going to lengthen, 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 belly to backbone. Lower, lower, lower. Shoulders, elbows, hips, and heels. All lined up. Try not to let your head sink into the valley of the shoulders. Keep that string on the crown of your head reaching and really lifting. And then instead of tucking the toes this time, you can keep the tops of the feet down. Pull up, up, up. And flip as you go. Chaturanga Dandasana. I have some students call it chimichanga. Chimichanga. You get to pick whatever you want to call it. It's a very strong pose. We did 4 poses: down dog, up dog, modified chaturanga, and full chaturanga. All of those are what you would call poses that have visual symmetry. Okay, which means both sides of our body match. And so try to get in the habit of when you set yourself up on your mat to work, that you don't have hands uneven and feet uneven and some toes stuck together and some toes spread wide. So I think that's it. And then the other poses in yoga are symmetrical in their weight. Okay, if that makes sense. So it's not a visual symmetry. It means we are balancing ourselves. Symmetry. So getting ready to have mommy and me yoga. So getting ready to turn this joint up into a zoo. I got to put the baby gates up. Got the cloud lights on. Turn up the tunes. A little booty popping. So I hope you all have a gorgeous day. Be sure to create your own sunshine today because our beautiful sun is taking a nap today, but gorgeous fog, very mysterious. Thank you. I hope you all just frolic and are happy. Namaste.